Now I go back to the browser and hit the logout link. As you see here, there is a login form on the page, which tells me to write my login credentials in order to go to the dashboard of the application. The login credentials here are my valid email and password according to the data that we have in a database. If I click the button without entering anything inside the two text fields, or with entering invalid credentials, I mean invalid email or password, I should get informed in a way or another. So now I'm going to create an alert or a pop-up to make me informed that your password or email is invalid here at the bottom of the page. Now I go to the index.php. Here I create a div and set its class attribute to model, which has been defined inside the styles.css, and also its ID to model. Inside this div I create another div. I set its class to model content, and also inside this model content I create another div and set its class attribute to model header. And inside this div I create a close button, which is wrapped inside a span whose class is set to close. Now here I create another div inside the model-content, and I set its class attribute to model-body. And inside this div I create another div and set its class attribute to alert. And here I write my message: invalid email or password. In order to display a pop-up and fade it in and out, I have downloaded a jQuery library from the internet, which I am going to place inside the scripts folder of the application. Here I copy it and place it inside the scripts folder of the application. And now I need to include it inside the index.php. I rename it to jquery -1.7.2.min.js. And here at the bottom I write an internal script. First of all, I create a reference to the div whose ID is model. Document.getElement by ID whose ID is model. And then I need to create a reference to the span in which the close button is wrapped. Document.getElements by class name close, and here I say the first element whose class is close, and then I say when this span is clicked, call this function, and inside the body of this function I say that the element whose class is model should fade out within 1000 milliseconds or within a second. Now I go to the app.js file. Here I create a function on the scope. I call it showAlert. Okay, inside the body of this function, first of all, I say that the element whose class is model should fade in or should appear within 1000 milliseconds or a second. And then I use a timeout here. I say that element should fade out or disappear within a second as well. And here I set how long this pop-up should appear on the screen. Now I save the changes, and here inside the login function I call this new function that I have recently created. To make this piece of code work, I need to use the $timeout here as a parameter to this function. I save the changes now and go to the browser. I reload the page, and here when I hit the login, I see this pop-up message at the bottom of the page.